Hello, everybody. Today we have in the house Tennesse Thaler. She is a mentor for women and she's also a neuroencoding specialist. Thank you for being here, Tennesse.
Thank you for
Yay!
having me.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So please share with us a story or anything that has inspired you to be a mentor for women and to become a neuroencoding specialist.
Sure. I think what really got me started, I always liked helping people. Like in my whole life, people have come to me for help and for advice and for support. Um, and I always felt good by doing that. I felt humbled that people trusted me that way. And for a long time, my career was quite different in the corporate world. In IT sales, very masculine, very narcissistic word, very harsh word. And for me, there was always something missing. I just felt I was paying a very high price by being on that career. And once I became a mother
Mm.
and I just got out of that word a little bit, even temporary, I started looking at things differently and realizing I have different priorities in my life. And then I'm like, okay, I tried to go back to corporate and it just didn't work. It literally brought me to a very, very deep, dark hole emotionally. I felt like the picture I had in my mind of me was me inside a very deep hole chained to a big rock and not finding a way out because I knew that was not for me anymore. I wasn't so sure, so clear at the time what I was supposed to be doing. And I just felt so lost, uh, despite my strength and inner strength, my spirituality, my work before. And I'm like, what's happening to me? I couldn't recognize myself anymore. I was like, I'm a shadow of who I was. That was what was happening. I wouldn't even look at myself in the mirror for 2 years. I wouldn't take photos. I did not want, I wouldn't socialize. And then pandemic came, so I didn't socialize anyway. So then I attended UPW with Tony Robbins, and that's where I met Joseph McCandle III. And you can't explain, you can't explain when you connect with the energy of somebody that resonates inside you. So during that UPW, I feel like Tony and his team and Joseph, they broke me down into pieces and then helped me put myself back together. That's what happened in June. And the last day with Joseph, I just love his energy, and he's just so like, smile, right?
Always anchoring, a good feeling in you.
Yes, and I love smiling. And I was like, I lost my smile for 2 years, but I couldn't stop smiling when he was speaking. And then he was talking about, the technique on, to the pain, the change, and then, and then you change and then you celebrate, like the circle. And I'm like, oh my God, makes so much sense. Change the habits, change my patterns, let's break my patterns and rebuild it and celebrate it and be honoring me through happiness and not for pain anymore, right? And then I was like, I love this man. I never met him before. I hadn't heard of him, but I love him. Like, he's amazing, right? And he got me drinking celery juice. Amazing. Uh, and I actually took a lot of conscious decisions after that, to improve my body, improve my health. And we had an event 2 weeks later, which is a follow-up, where we were Joseph talking about the technique specifically, and then he was talking about the neuron coaching. And I can tell you this much. I think one of the coaches was saying on the event that usually takes a phone call. Somebody will show interest and they'll call and clear up any questions and so on. I didn't need that. He hadn't even finished talking. I was already there, like in the link and signing up for it. I had no doubt whatsoever that I needed to learn that, because I was like, it made such an impact for me. I was like, I want to share this with the world. And I chose to work with women because I think, we women lost our power so much, and a lot of us became a lot more masculine to live and survive in this world, especially the corporate world. But our power comes from our feminine, and being in balance, feminine and masculine. But there's so much strength that we have from our feminine side that I just feel like we need to honor. It's time for a balance of everybody and bring back the feminine and really help all these women to honor themselves and honor their authentic selves. Because I always say their authenticity is their superpower. It's my superpower is my authenticity. And, so that's why I get so excited.
That is amazing. And for our audience, let me explain to you guys that being a male, like having a male attitude or characteristics, it's somebody that is very driven. It's somebody that goes after his dreams or her dreams, and it's like somebody very determined, that it says, I'm going to do this and I'm going to accomplish it. And then you go after. That is having a masculine attitude. In a feminine attitude, it's more like laughing and playing and just enjoying the moment. And then 1 minute, you might be laughing, and then the next second you're crying. And then you're like, okay, never mind. And then you go back to laughing again. Just think of a little girl. Think of a 4-year-old little girl that is just enjoying life. She's at her full femininity right there. Yeah. And we girls forget to act that way because, we have dreams and sometimes we go through life and we get hurt and we begin to build walls, not to laugh as much, not to enjoy life as much, not to, whenever you don't feel connected, whenever you feel like you're not fitting in because your authenticity is not being welcome, then we become more masculine, and we shut down. Yes, yeah, because and we were programmed when we were younger. You have to be tough. So we move aside our femininity because we think we have to be tough and be more masculine. So that's what Tennesse is trying to share with us, that we need that side, the feminine side, and that's where you said we have most of our power. It's on that side. Whenever we bring that to our family, our spouse, our children, that's what they want to see. They want to see us happy.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that you share that.
It's a nurturing as well. So the nurturing energy comes from the feminine, and I think a lot of women were not even given a chance or a choice to pursue their dreams. And I think more and more the women are questioning this, are stopping, are trying to pursue their dreams and their purpose and feel really happy and fulfilled, which is amazing. And we all have feminine and masculine energies inside us, all of us, men and women. And it's all about to have a balance. It's not too much of one, not too much of the other. Have an harmony. If you're in harmony within yourself, it what makes whole game change. It's a game changer.
Yes, I agree with you. I've experienced it and I totally agree. So yes, thanks for sharing that. And I'm glad you found yourself. I'm glad you found your purpose in life. through this
Thank
event, through the UPW. So that's amazing. What or how have you have started creating change in people?
Oh, good question. I think, well, the first change was me, right? I changed. I made conscious decisions and I took massive action for myself without compromising on me anymore. Because what I realized was that I was compromising on me by trying to live other people's beliefs and not my beliefs. So my belief, the most important beliefs for me, it's growth and freedom. And I was trying to live under people's certainty and, and security. That's the opposite of my, the opposite of my.
Yeah.
Once I realized it and I learned these, I said, you know what? That's it. That's the whole problem there. And I'm going to honor myself. And even my husband had a panic attack when I told him I was going to stop pursuing, trying to get a job again on the corporate work. Because obviously he had all those questions, finance and things like these. And that's okay. But once he saw the transformation within me, and that took only less than a month, I think. As soon as I decided to change and take action, it was obvious. And as soon as he saw that, he was like, I think there's something there.
I think there's something.
Like, I don't know what happened, but
she's
something
different.
happened.
She's different.
And he's been evolving in the process as well, slowly. And I think once you start with one and then it goes around, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The domino effect kind of goes
Yes.
around. So for me, it's been amazing to change my relationship with my mom, change my relationship with my family, friends, and my husband, and even my daughter as well, because I wasn't being the mom she needed me to be, right? Because I wasn't well. So, and with the people around, so I've been with the women I've been working with. I had women suffering with, some say blockades for their whole life that had, like one of them, she had something that prevented her from having a fulfilling life and having fulfilling relationships her whole entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And she had paid and gone around trying to find answers, trying to find help. And she was at a point that she just was desperate. She was absolutely desperate. And I had one session with her. And we got, because how I work is I work with mind, body, and soul. And I always say this way we can address our three brains, which is our head brain, our heart brain, and our gut brain. And finding the root cause of what's causing that blockage, because we can cut the tree, but if you don't take out the roots, it might grow back again. And if it's not a very nice tree, you don't want that growing again. So that's what we did. And in this session, it got to a point, something came so clear to her, and she was completely shocked, and to see that on her, it just felt like I gave hope to her again. Not me, she found it herself, right? But to be able to be a tool to assist people and see this transformation, it's amazing. It's like the most amazing thing in the world, and I just feel blessed to be able to do that.
I understand that feeling. I had, now that you said that, a person came into my mind. I was coaching a mom, and she was dealing with depression. And I guess it was after the third session that whenever she came to me, we began talking. she was no longer talking about her depression. She was talking about marriage problems. So I was like, okay, her depression's been healed. It's like she's been, now she was ready to move up to like, okay, how can I fix my marriage? So yeah, I
That's great.
understand. Yes, yes. So yeah, it is a
Yeah,
beautiful feeling.
that's nice.
Uh,
Yeah.
so what is your outcome whenever you're coaching someone?
My outcome. That's a very interesting question because I don't feel about my outcome. I always think about the person's outcome. What do they want, right? I suppose my outcome is, did you get what you want, right? That's the feeling of like, I want to make sure that they got value
Okay.
out of the session, that it really helped them. And I think that every single session, we learn something. And we help the people heal, but we're healing ourselves as well in the process. And I think that's the most beautiful outcome you can get.
Yeah, you reflect, like you're like, oh, like I used to be in that, in that situation, or just something
Yeah.
similar that you're like, okay, or
Sometimes
it
it goes
brings.
like, wow, okay. And you have to keep to yourself, obviously. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, but I get that. Okay.
Yes, yes, yeah. It is definitely a very unique experience, a very rewarding as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
It doesn't feel like work, right?
yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Uh, what are some of your favorite strategies and techniques that you like to share with your clients?
Um, I love pattern interrupt. I use that with my daughter all the time.
All the
It
time.
works. She's 2, but it works like amazing.
Yeah,
And I
pattern
think,
interrupt.
yeah, it's a pattern interrupt. For me, that's what helped me as well to break my patterns as well. And I think recognize your patterns and then breaking it and changing it into a more positive one. For me, it's super powerful. That's one of the things. It's very interesting because every client, it's so unique and different, and the sessions. So I just find, for me, it's sometimes I really need to work on breath work with them. Depend on the level, if they're really, if they're really unwell, of a lot of anxiety or something, if you hit the button and then, there's a lot of emotions coming through. So I just want to make sure they're aligned, that they're connected with themselves, and that they feel it's going, and it is helping them, but every session is a bit different because I work with different techniques, including the neuroencoding, and do a combination. And it depends on this stage where they at. Some people are a little bit further up than others. Some of the women are women entrepreneurs and they want to work on success, right? Their blockage around success. And then I go in, well, let's look at what's the origin of the block. Okay, let's remove the block then, and then let's move forward. So for every stage, you have different techniques that I use, depend on each client.
That's awesome. Yes. I mean, like you said, every session is different. So you don't know what to expect. So the good thing is like you have plenty of strategies and techniques in your tool bag, to share with your women.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, we're all so unique. All of us are unique.
yeah.
And there's no such thing as one size fits all, right?
Yes.
So you need to be adaptable and relatable to them and to add value to them. So that's why it's amazing to have all those tools there. But I try not to focus and name things too much, because the most important thing is that it's working.
Yes. 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 As long as we're making progress, that's good.
Yes.
And they
Yes.
see it. Who can benefit from your coaching style? Any women?
Technically, I think I could say any women. I originally thought I was going to work mostly with female entrepreneurs, because I've been on this journey myself. And I know how tough it is to make the leap, to pivot into it, to change the mindset. And also can be a very lonely journey. And not only maybe online nowadays and you're not face to face with people, but also, because you're changing everything about you, and the people around you will be changing too. So it can be a quite, so I focus a lot my work on female entrepreneurs, but I do work with women in general who are feeling stuck, who are experiencing all those dream thieves, as we call, the likes of self-doubt, procrastination, imposter syndrome, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of rejection. So, those are the kind of things that I usually tend to help women with.
That's awesome. That's very awesome. But you're a blessing in their lives. How can we find you? I mean, she lives in Ireland, by the way.
Yes, but I live in Ireland, but I'm from Brazil, and but I actually focus on international work anyway. So most of my clients are everywhere, actually, people everywhere. So right now, you can find me on Instagram or in Facebook.
Facebook.
So on Instagram, I am Tennesse Thaler _coach. And then on Facebook is Tennesse Thaler mentor, coach, and neuroencoding specialist. So for now, my page is coming, TennesseThaler.com. It's still coming. But
okay, still working on your platform. That's fine. What has been a book that has added tons of value in your life?
Oh, that's a really tough question. That's a very tough question because I love books and I've read so many of them. And I tend to choose meaningful books to read. I read a lot of spiritual stuff as well. So I actually don't think I have one to pin down, but my favorite author is Paulo Coelho, if that makes a difference. But I think, when I read, I love Neil Donald Walsh, so Conversations with God. And Neil's story, it's a very interesting story. I don't know if you've seen a movie. There's a movie, Conversations with God, and you can see his story is very inspiring. Like he lost everything as well until he started, he said he was channeling the message from God, but just means for me, I read it and interpret it as well as he started aligning himself to who he was meant to be and his purpose. And once he's done that, his whole entire life changed. He went from homeless to, to all the work that he's doing right now. So for me, that's very inspirational. But I love Tony as well. Tony Robbins stuff. It's I read that a lot as well. So
good, awesome. I'm gonna have to check into the one that you were talking about a while ago.
Neil Donald Walsh. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're gonna have to type it for me.
Yes. No problem.
My brain is not right. I can't spell it right now, like in my mind. But I'll ask you, and then once I read it, then I'll order the book. But yeah.
Yeah, it's Conversations with God. If you search for that, you'll find him. Okay. And he's in, he's quite big now on spiritual kind of things, but with Oprah and all of those people in that line of work. So, but I just find his story very transformational, very inspiring.
Yes, I can't wait. Well, before you go, please share with us a message for our audience. What's something you would want to share?
I think one thing I've learned, what is the most expensive commodity that we all have, that we probably all take for granted? It's time. Time is something that we can't trade, we can't sell, we can't buy. It's invaluable. It's the most valuable. It's invaluable. Time is the most important thing, and the one thing that we take most for granted. We always leaving for tomorrow what we could do today or should have done yesterday. Oh, as Joseph said, should have done 20 years ago, but the next best time is now, right?
Right.
And I always think that we need to honor our time better, spend our time doing the things that we truly love, that we truly purpose, like we came to this life and our purpose, things that fulfill you and you feel excited to be doing, and not just doing because you have to pay the bills, you have to do this because somebody tell you, your parents told you this or that, or whatever it is. You just feel you have to, and you just wasting all your life away. So if you're thinking that, oh, I will do this tomorrow, change that and do it right now. Take massive action and honor yourself and your time.
Thank you. That's beautiful. It is right. Like time is, we cannot get it back. We cannot
No,
get back our 24 hours from yesterday. So it is
no.
very important if we focus and learn to appreciate our time.
Yeah. And how we choose to spend it, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to do we change with being with your family? Do you want to do something that you feel excited about, like waking up in the morning and like, oh yes, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna have this many times, or I'm gonna travel tomorrow. I'm traveling the world, or whatever it is. Like every person have their calling. Some people have the calling to be a mechanic. Some people want to be a pilot. Some, just it doesn't matter what it is, but just follow that inner self, and there is no going wrong.
Yes, and I would like to add, at the beginning we talk about how women, we sometimes get into that masculine attitude, and I totally understand if you're a boss, or at whatever area at work, you have to use that. That is fine. It's like that's what gets you results. Do it. But whenever you come home, then put something pinks. Wear something
Yeah,
that makes you feel girl, and
but even at
use
work,
this. Yeah,
you
I
can
worked it.
you can
Yes,
still
yes,
have a pink nice suit.
yes, yes. So it's
because
like,
because like when you have too much of one thing and then you be like authoritative and bossy, and you're not a true leader. Everybody said nowadays is the biggest trend, isn't it? People talk about the difference between being a manager and a leader, because leaders do have that compassionate, and they lead by example, and they do genuine care about their people, right? Their employees. And that's a big difference. And I said, to be a true leader, you have to be in balance. You have to have enough strength and, following, and, because we need the direction. You're a leader, you need to example, you need to set the choices. I'm not sure to say in English, but you have to set, okay,
yeah, you
it's like,
set the bar.
yeah, here's the process. That's how we're going to do it. And you need to make tough decisions and so on, right? But you will also have to care, because the biggest problem nowadays is that a lot of people out there in leader positions don't have real leaders, and they treat their employees as just a number, and it's just one more. It makes no difference. But we're human beings. We're not robots.
Yeah.
And the leaders that make the most impact out there are the ones that find that balance, that have enough care, enough nurturing, but also lead and, pave the way for the team and for the company. And that's the most important thing. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, it's the same thing, and you do that to yourself. You don't want to be work. Oh, I have to do all these, I have to do marketing, I have to learn this, and I have to do this. And then you're just like here, and you totally forget about looking after yourself. Totally forget why you're doing this in first place. You're supposed to love it and enjoy it, right? Not
Yes,
become a
yes.
burner, right? So that is why we need always to have that balance. And I hope to help them to know they can lead, they can succeed, they can be
Yeah.
powerful, and be feminine at the same time.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. I mean, we have to put in the work, but it is possible.
Yes.
Well, blessings to you all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tennesse, for being here and sharing your wisdom. Thank you, everybody that is here listening to us. Have a blessed day.
Thank
And
you so
I
much.
just hang out. I cannot wait to hang out with you. You know, like you have so much to share, and I have so much
I
to
do like
learn from
talking.
you. Oh no, I love you, girl, and take care.
Thank
And
you
we'll
so
see you
much for
soon.
having me.
You're welcome. Bye bye. See
Bye.
you.